Welcome back, data-driven problem solvers. This week, we're going to talk about using existing data, and I'll cover our 5 key takeaways by answering these questions. Why use existing data? Where can you find it? How do you evaluate it? How do you prepare it? And how can you leverage the work of others to take your problem solving further? Usually, I like to end with an example about how to use the learnings in your career, but today I'm just going to sprinkle them throughout the examples. So, why would we want to use existing data? Why don't we just be researchers and collect and analyze data that we make ourselves? Well, because there's lots of really good data already out there in the world. And when you use existing data, you can even boost your understanding and refine your focus by learning how others have tackled similar problems. Let's just imagine you're investigating online advertisement effectiveness. That is a really broad topic. But if you start by analyzing existing data, like website traffic, you might learn that only certain types of ad campaigns drive the most clicks. And then you can focus your efforts on assessing what makes those ads effective. Using existing sources can also save you the time and money that it takes to collect new data. And sometimes you could even get lucky enough to have your questions answered already out there and available. For example, imagine you're a small business owner. There might be public competitor data to be found on industry reports, for example, that would provide you with all the data insights you need to assess market trends and stay competitive, all without you needing to do the research or analysis yourself. So, where do you get this data? Well, there's two main categories of where you might go to get data. You might go internally or you might look externally. Internal data is any data that resides inside your organization, like customer complaints, sales figures, or employee surveys. Every organization creates data. You can find tons of useful information in company databases, reports, internal surveys. Just reach out to the teams who own your information management systems and learn what data is available. External data, on the other hand, comes from external places. This could be government websites, industry reports, academic journals, open source data repositories. There's all sorts of publicly available data that you could use. For example, maybe you're a social scientist researching climate change. You'd probably only need to check out government websites to find historical temperature data that might suit your analysis. There are also various places that will gather your data for you and provide it to you for a fee. So maybe you have some internal data, maybe you have some external data, but keep in mind that not all data is created equal. And so you want to make sure that it's accurate and timely. Look out for any kind of data collection methods being shared about how it was created, and try to avoid outdated data that might not reflect current trends. You'll want to also ask, does the data directly address your problem? For example, if you're investigating social media sentiment towards your new product launch, data on website traffic volume may or may not be relevant. You want to ask whether or not the source of the data is reputable and trustworthy. Government websites and academic journals typically have high credibility, and you probably always want to be cautious of any data from anonymous or unverifiable sources. But there's no such thing as an always credible source. So make sure that you take the time to evaluate your sources for credibility. And don't forget that whoever created that data had a reason or an agenda for doing so. Speaking of the people involved with this data, don't forget that you bring your own biases with you too. Be careful that you aren't allowing confirmation bias to influence what data you choose to use or ignore, and also that you aren't allowing liking bias to give you rose-colored glasses when evaluating your sources. All right, so let's say that you have data that you can trust. That's awesome, yay. So now it's time to start analyzing it, right? Wrong. Sorry to tell you, but you still have a big step to go. Once you have that data, that doesn't mean that you have it in a way that's ready for you to use. you're definitely going to need to spend time preparing it. This might require combining data sets, cleaning the data to remove errors, or reformatting it for use. Data cleaning and prep is a broad and wide skill set, one that any data-driven problem solver should spend time building out. And that's because data prep often takes up to around 80% of the time that you're going to spend on an analytics project. Now, we can't cover all data prep aspects in this short video, so plan to put a lot of time and effort into this area, and you'll want to make sure that you get it right from the start. Here's some additional tips to help you as you go about your data prep and cleaning learning journey. All right, our fifth and final takeaway is about learning from those who've studied your problem before. And I don't just mean use existing data. I mean, read past studies, review research reports, gather insights from case studies or examples when others sought insights about your same problem topic. For example, let's just say you're investigating how to ensure adoption of a new information management technology system in your company. Reviewing academic journals might actually be able to provide you with already validated studies where different approaches for adoption have been tested. And then you can use those to build out a strategy that you feel more confident in its effectiveness. Call it a review of existing information is critical and often overlooked, but it's a key aspect of the problem solving process. Doing a review and leveraging the learnings of others enables you to see a more holistic picture. Just like the parable of the blind man and the elephant, relying on a single data source gives you a limited perspective. To get a full picture, you need to gather information from various sources, like industry reports, government data, and academic journals, and maybe some of your own analyses as well. And this will give you a more well-rounded approach to ensure you're not missing a crucial piece of the broader puzzle. I always recommend reviewing as much possible existing information from as many different sources as possible before starting to dive into any data creation or data analysis stages. So there were our 5 key takeaways. By searching for, evaluating, and preparing existing data, you can better understand your problem, save time and resources, and gain a complete view of the problem. I hope to see you in the next video where we talk about those times where there is no existing data and you have to create your own. I'll see you in that one.